Hey there, and welcome to our virtual cooking class. I am Festival Foods Mealtime Mentor and Registered Dietitian Casey, and I'm so excited to be joining you in your kitchen from the Festival Foods Test Kitchen. I hope you're ready to get cooking. Thanks for joining us. Today we're making a tasty pasta dish with Kemp's heavy whipping cream. It's perfect for an Easter side dish or really for any time of the year. So if you have questions while you're taking this class, you can reach out to us at askfestivaldietitians.com. All right, so let's get started. Like I said, we are making a pasta side dish, really. It's creamy lemon pasta with broccoli. It's so delicious and also really easy to customize too if you want to add other ingredients in there. So what I've already done is washed my hands. I've also washed my lemon, so go ahead and do that if you haven't. And then I do have my pasta going over here, boiling over, of course. I just wanted to start the pasta to make sure that that would be done in time for the class, but if you haven't started yours yet, no worries, you have plenty of time, so go ahead and start your pasta. I'm just using a penne pasta. Really whatever pasta you prefer will work. At this point too, then I'm just going to add my broccoli florets. So we need 3 cups or about a half a pound of broccoli florets. I've just gotten these from the fresh cut area in our produce department, which is super convenient. Then I didn't have to go through and chop that. Of course, you definitely could if you wanted to, but this is just a really convenient way to get those broccoli florets already chopped up. So I'm just adding those right to the pot with my pasta, and we're gonna let that cook for just a few more minutes. I like my broccoli pretty tender, or pretty crisp, so we're just gonna let that cook for just a few minutes while the pasta finishes up. So while that's going, over here then I'm going to start our sauce. So I'm gonna heat my skillet here to medium-high heat, and I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of butter. So we'll get that melting. Really what we're gonna end up making, like I said, it's like a creamy lemon sauce. And there's definitely a good amount of cheese in there too. But it really all comes together with that Kemp's heavy whipping cream. I love using whipping cream. I think a lot of times we think of it for like baking or kind of sweet dishes, but it's excellent for like those savory, creamy sauces too. All right, as that finishes up melting, I'm gonna go grab my flour here. So we're just gonna do half a tablespoon, just regular all-purpose flour. Feel free to use like a gluten-free flour if you would like, and then of course a gluten-free pasta as well. All right, now I'm just gonna add that flour. And just stir that together. Try to get the flour nice and mixed in with that butter so it doesn't clump too much. I have a few clumps, but. All right, so we're gonna let that cook for just a minute or so, and while that's cooking, I'm going to mince my garlic here. So the recipe calls for 2 cloves. I had 4 cloves left and I didn't want to leave the other 2 by themselves. So I'm just going to chop up all of these. Definitely something you can adjust to your preference. You could definitely use like a pre-minced garlic, you know, that you can buy in those little jars. That's another time saver. Definitely convenient. Or if you have like one of those garlic mincers, I have one at home and I absolutely love it, but a knife works just as well. Just gonna turn this down a little bit. It's getting a little dark, but it'll turn out. All right, so my garlic's all minced up here. So at this point, I'm going to add the garlic to the pan. gonna stir that around a little bit. I'm also going to add a little bit of water, just about a 1/4 cup. I'm going to add some lemon juice, the juice of 1 lemon, which is really nice. You don't have to do a lot of measuring there. I'm just rolling it to help release some of those juices so that I get a higher yield when I squeeze it here. We were just talking about this. Which way do you put the flesh of the lemon in the squeezer? I usually do flesh side down, but I don't think that's gonna work. Actually, I'm even just gonna cut this into another 1/4 for this juicer. But I feel like it gets a good amount out if I do that flesh side down. But let us know which way you prefer, because there's definitely differing opinions out there. I love the flavor that the fresh lemon juice adds. That is something, though, that you can adjust with this sauce. When we tested this, we had, I think, about a 1/2 lemon's worth of juice. And we all really like lemon over here at Festival, so we decided to add more. But if you prefer it to not have as much of that flavor, try just cutting it in half. Just use a 1/2 lemon and see how you like that. You can always add it in afterwards if you like to. All right, so we've got our lemon juice and then Italian seasoning. I'm gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of this. Just stir that. So we have like a buttery, lemony situation going on right now. Now, all we need to add is, of course, the cream. So we're using Kemp's heavy whipping cream. We just need a cup, which is very convenient because I just got like a 1/2 pint, which is a cup. So that's all that we need. And I'm just going to pour this in, whisking as I go. Get everything nice and incorporated here. And this whipping cream is going to start thickening up. About a couple minutes for that to really thicken. It's definitely already starting, you can see that. But again, just let this cook until your desired consistency. I am going to use some of this pasta water later to loosen it up a little bit, so don't be afraid if it starts getting a little bit too thick, because you'll have a chance to thin that out a little bit. All right, so I'm just gonna let that cook for a little bit and go ahead and, I think that this is probably, oh yeah, yep, pasta looks good, broccoli looks good. So I'm going to turn that off. And actually, I'm gonna go grab some oven mitts here. Get hooked on the drawer in the process. And I'm just going to drain my pasta and broccoli, but before I drain it, I am gonna reserve, like I said, some of that water, which is gonna be a little bit green from the broccoli, just so that I can add that later to loosen the sauce up a bit. All right, back over to our sauce. It's bubbling, it's getting nice and creamy. Oh my gosh, I love using heavy cream, like I said, with making these sauces because it really helps it to thicken up nicely. Kemp's is really cool too because all their milk comes from family farms, and actually on their website, kemps.com, you can actually read profiles of some of these family farms. And a lot of them are in Wisconsin, of course. So check that out. It's kind of cool to see like where these products are coming from. They also have a lot of really cool recipes on their website too at chems.com. So if you're looking for more ideas, check that out. So like I mentioned before, this is like a really nice side dish because we have pasta, broccoli, kind of a cream sauce. Definitely something though that you could make into a full meal if you wanted to add like chicken, shrimp, another protein. Just to really round that out, you could do that for sure. All right, I think our sauce is at a good consistency here. So at this point, I'm going to add Parmesan cheese. We're going to add 1/3 cup. I'm using a pre-grated Parmesan. You can find a really nice variety of different Parmesan cheeses that are on the cheese islands in our delis. So that's what I'm using. If you wanted to grate your own Parmesan, like from a block, you could definitely do that, and it would probably melt a little bit better and kind of work in with the sauce a little bit easier, but I don't feel like doing that. So I'm just gonna use a pre-grated, and that works just as well. So if you wanna save a little time like I did, go ahead and use a pre-grated. All right, so we're gonna mix that in. That helps thicken it up a little bit too. Oh, smelling so delicious. All right, so I'm going to turn the heat off at this point. Our sauce looks great. And I'm gonna go ahead and add back in then the pasta and the broccoli. It's really nice that it's all combined in one. Fewer dishes is always a good thing. So I'm just gonna toss this together. And this is the point where I'm gonna kinda gauge how I think the sauce is look. Oh my gosh, I love how you can see like the cheese starting to stretch over the pasta and the broccoli. This is the point where I'm gonna kinda gauge whether I would like to add some pasta water. I think I'm just gonna add a little bit because the sauce does thicken as it cools. So I think it looks pretty good right now, but I'm not gonna eat it piping hot. So I'll just add just a little of that pasta broccoli water. All right, so then at this point, all that's left to do is season with a little salt and pepper. And then garnish. So if you're serving this up into plates or bowls or whatever, you can definitely serve it up and then garnish. I'm just gonna garnish right here in the pan, just to kind of show the final product here. So just a little extra Parmesan. And there we have it. Our creamy lemon pasta with broccoli. So delicious and so creamy thanks to the help of Kemp's Heavy Whipping Cream. So thank you so much for joining our class today. We hope you had fun and learned a few tips and tricks along the way. Again, if you have questions as you're going through this class, please reach out to us at askfestivaldietitians.com. To view more virtual cooking classes and get the materials that you'll need for those, you can visit festfoods.com/classes. And also be sure to follow Fest Foods on Facebook and Instagram to be the first to hear about upcoming classes that we have on the agenda. You can also find more recipes from us, the Mealtime Mentors, at festfoods.com/meals. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.